Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and welcome to a late night Illuminati One with Everything card pull. Now, before we get into the card pull itself, and before we even kind of review the game, what I want to talk about is this gentleman right here, Robert Anton Wilson, okay? And Robert Anton Wilson has nothing directly to do with the game. I want to repeat that. Nothing directly to do with the game. And he becomes an interesting character in the story of how the game gets made. Robert Anton Wilson is a guy who, with Robert Shea, who I don't know much about, and honestly, I'm just learning about Robert Anton Wilson, so I may misspeak, writes the Illuminatus trilogy. Now, another interesting thing is that, although he's doing all this other writing work, he also is an associate editor for Playboy and publishing things there and short stories. But there's this 6+ hour interview, 6 hours, 3 minutes on the nose. I'm 5 hours and 25 minutes deep in it. And I'm not saying I agree with the guy on everything. In fact, there's some kooky stuff that he even talks about, but he talks a lot about perception and reality, and so many of the topics that we discuss here. And what do I mean by that? Well, going beyond just perception and reality, he talks about mRNA technology. He talks about nanotechnology. I think he has a lot of blind spots when it comes to space travel. That's in this. But what's really interesting to me is the kind of anecdotal stories that I've never heard, and I'm going to have to check up on after this. First of all, he kind of identifies himself as a pseudo-libertarian, and he's very upset in this time period of Bush versus Gore. This interview's right around 20-plus years old. It sounds very pre-9/11, right? And, he's talking about that they can now drug test you, right? And they want you to pee, and that's way too much for him. I can't even imagine what he would think about right now. He also talks about quantum mechanics, the synchronicity, and so many other subjects that have gone so much more mainline. But, he's obviously with a trilogy called Illuminatus, which is fictional, has that whole conspiracy theory aura about him. And he talks extensively about Aleister Crowley, even the attempt at world government, what he thinks will become global governance later. But a few of the stories that I thought were super interesting were that he talked about the Star Wars program and Michio Kaku, or Michio Kiku. You know who I'm talking about. Everybody's favorite quantum mechanics guy. I'm not a huge Michio guy. He's a big multiverse dude. I'm not necessarily on that train, but he talks about how he had heard that Michio would no longer work for the Defense Department and the government because he learned that the Star Wars program, and if you don't know what the Star Wars program is, that's the strategic initiative to weaponize space back in the 80s, which was absolutely successful, but we act like it's not, right? And he says that he quit once he found out that the weapons weren't actually directed at Russia. Right? The Cold War everybody talks about, and we had to beat the Russians in space. A lot of evidence shows that we were working in many respects and still do when we're talking about space and Russia and the ISS especially as kind of like that one unifying, it's cover for what's really going on up there. He says in this, which again, I can't verify, and I would love to see if anybody can find this out, if Michio's ever talked about this, that those weapons were actually directed at South America. And remember, at the time, there's so much dirty stuff going on from South America, propping up the IMF, their own friendly dictators, drug running, gun running, cartels, and on and on and on. Okay? So here's the deal. What we need to do is, we're going to get into the card game in a minute, but I just think that this guy's really important. I think you should check him out. I kind of want to read this Illuminatus trilogy. No doubt about it. It seems like it needs to happen. So we got rubber gloves. Why do we got rubber gloves? Well, this thing's not cheap. All right. I didn't pay $1,500 for it. It is signed by Derek Piercy, who basically, with Steve Jackson, you see Steve Jackson on the bottom there, adapted this card game. Now, Steve Jackson was inspired by the Illuminatus trilogy, and he made a board game with a little bit of cards and dice back in '82. Okay, we've already told the whole story of that. Piercy comes in, and he says, I want to make this a card game. Let's do it. And they do it in the 90s, in the mid-90s, 94, 95, I believe. Okay, right now, the two of them are trying to make this into a video game. However, as you can see, not cheap, not cheap, not cheap. So, thumbs it up, subscribe, share. Remember, guys, to Rockfin. Let's get to 17,000 followers. If you're not following me on Rockfin, you need to be. There's so many exclusives over there. The uncensored stuff is stuff we can't talk about on YouTube. This is kind of a fun, late night program where we have our own little Derek Piercy. Come on, Derek, come on the show. Let's talk about it. Boom. Complete instructions for world domination. All right. Let's start pulling. Did we have I think we might have shown like a card, like a preview card at one point, right? Did we or did we not? Guess we'll find out. Yes, we did. And it's one of those weird ones. Remember, Steve Jackson himself, who is not Robert Anton Wilson. And again, I'm encouraging everybody to check this out. Here, you can so everybody can just get a look at it. It explains everything right here. It's 6 hours and 3 minutes on the spot. It's just audio in this picture. I'm finding it super interesting. And again, that doesn't mean I'm idolizing the guy. It's just, if he's the inspiration for this, it shows how much of this information was in the ether. And, he doesn't believe in all of it. And, Steve Jackson talks about you can believe in these cards or mock them as you wish. So Midas Mill. Huh. It looks like some kind of a gold undersea apparatus. Like what's it do? Is it creating gold? Is there gold in them there, Hills? Gold from seawater. Gold to fuel the plots of the Illuminati. So wow, you can make gold from seawater. If anybody's got any information on that, I would like to know about that. All right, one down. Let's continue to keep going here. Oh, I haven't seen this card. This is kind of a cool card. Video games. Now, the U.S. military has been not only using video games to train soldiers for some times, marketing to gamers, but I did a story well over a decade ago. Remember, these are 94, 95, where Connect controls the future, I think I called it. Let's see if we can find that. Connect in the U.S. military had combined forces, and now we know it's gone way, way beyond that. But why do I say that? Because that's Xbox. Now you got to understand, a lot of kids are playing the mobile games, right? They're playing huge, huge mobile games, and then when they are playing online, their audio is also on there. In fact, I would say kids and really a lot of people talk more on playing co-op video games than they do with each other in friendships now, because that's texting. So Connect, Microsoft, and the military. Yes. Here we go. That's medium.com from 2014. I did it way before that. I did it in like 2000. There it is. Bam, Verge, 2012. I think I might have even done it in before 2012. Might have been 2011. But yeah, so that's an interesting card. You know what I mean? Let's read what the I tried to go deep on that. They didn't. I had to submit questions, and it was a whole weird thing. Let's see. It gives you the attempt to control convenience stores or any computer group, and the convenience stores are like little spy groups. So there it is, the video games card. 2 down. And that's what's kind of cool about this is we can say, we can do the, ha funny stuff, but then we can say, hey, look, a lot of this stuff is being utilized today. If you didn't see my report today where I read that Newsweek article about the secret military, and I've been warning you about the shadow government now for 20 years. Secret military, shadow government, you get it? Oh, you UFO buffs. In fact, I was watching Tucker, and I know there was a big 60 Minutes piece, and now they're saying there's UFOs off the coast of Virginia every single day that they see. Well, if there's UFOs off the coast of Virginia every single day, that means that the military is utilizing craft that other military is not aware of. That's the reality of that situation, okay? So here it is, flying saucer card, and we're seeing a lot more of that. And you know how I feel about the whole flying saucer stuff. This vehicle was found buried in a cornfield in Idaho. It will take a small number of people anywhere in the world undetectable within an hour. Linked to a personality, the flying saucer gives him +10 against an attack to destroy or assassination. So, this is supposed to be the alien spacecraft. But you know how I feel about the whole flying saucer phenomenon. Cover for a lot more. I don't trust that Elizondo guy. The thing is that I think that the dude from Blink, is a genuine dude and he just wants to believe it. And he's been fed bad information. Go watch Mirage Men. Let's see. Oh! The old vampires. Now, David Icke likes to call the people in charge, the people I like to refer to as the predator class. Many have, criticized him about the shape-shifting reptilians, but psychic vampires is, another term that's very Ickean out there. And I'm hoping to go on Gareth's show. I'd love to talk to Gareth. I appreciate what they do. He stood tall, whether you agree with him or not. And you either believe in free speech or you don't. And I believe in free speech. And the guy stuck to his guns. And, the bottom line is we're supposed to all be allowed to believe crazy shit. Just saying. So the vampire card. I wonder if we're going to get to the zombie apocalypse card. Is that in here? I don't know them all. We got them all right here. 2, 4, 5. Let's go to the 5th. Oh, snap. Urban gangs. Now, you look at these guys, obviously this looks a little bit more 90s. Looks a little bit more like New Jack City. Check out that earring on that dude with the hat. That's what this reminds me of. But when we talk about urban gangs and cartel-type warfare, MS-13 is something that interestingly does come up in the Seth Rich case, right? Whether or not that's true, we do know that organized crime in the past has been used by other agencies. And again, we got a secret military going on. And we need cover. So just, keep it in mind. Urban gangs. 2, 4, 5 down. Thumbs it up, guys. Can we get 50 thumbs up with 68 people watching? And I want to thank the Rockfin audience out there, too. You guys rock. How we doing, Occult Priestess? She's got a great channel over on Rockfin as well. If you're following me, go check her out and follow her as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's much more into the occult type stuff than I am. Oh, here we go. The United Nations card. Quite frankly, there's a large section of my film, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, that warned how the United Nations would be a vehicle for the global tyranny we are now seeing today. Much of it, in my opinion, directed at least as the mouthpiece through the United Nations. I think this country should leave the United Nations immediately, not sign on to more of their treaties. And honestly, I think there are people within the UN, just like I think there are people within this government, that need to be criminally charged immediately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And once found guilty for their crimes against humanity, again, let's give them what they want. A supermax prison where they are surveilled 24/7, 365, and the citizens have access to all cameras. And I was just throwing this in the other day. They're so hyped up on like the Neuralink stuff, right? Well, they'll all be Neuralinked, so we make sure they feel really, really good. And that way, if they ever decide they want to leave or get out, they can't because they're Neuralinked. Well, we'll call it permalinked to their prison, right? I mean, that's what they want for us. I don't need Mussolini style. I don't need all that stuff. I don't need, hangings or any of that stuff after the verdict. No. Let's give them what they want for us. And then we can tune in anytime we want and say, hey, that's what you get. That's what you get for trying to enslave a bunch of people. Just saying. 2, 4, 6 down, 7. Oh, well. I'm not big on this one. Okay. The Frog God. Bum, bum, bum. Which card is this from? Magic. There's a lot of that magic stuff. So the best I could give you on this is kind of the H.P. Lovecraft lore of the sea people. And I forget what their name is. But I know that Freeman Fly did the Dagon. The Dagon. Right? This is not the Dagon. Those are the fish people. But here's the Frog God. See, we're having fun here. Oh, we got a Jim Garrison tip over on the rock fin. Let's see what we got. He says, nothing to see here. Move along. Oh, and I got a shout out to my buddy Mike. Oh, boy. So let's get to 9. Let's see. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait. I think I got 8 here, right? No, I only got 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay. 7 down. Okay. Let's do this. TV preachers. Man. I mean, who do you think this guy? I mean, he's blonde, so he doesn't look like Olstein. Isn't there? Who's the blow the coronavirus away guy that's on the ultra remixes? Anybody know that one? So you know how we feel about the TV preachers here, anyway. The evangelists. Okay, this is the straight fanatic and media church card. So the normal penalty for one fanatic group controlling another, the TV preachers have a net +6. It's a control group. Bum, bum, bum. So there you go. Preachers. Okay. Oh, here he is. One of our character cards. Good old Al Gore. Great Reset Gore. Still relevant today. Not as relevant as he once was. But he primed the way for How Dare You and Greta Thunberg. And, remember, this is all a front. Dennis Bushnell told you, the chief engineer at NASA, the guy going around for 20 plus years telling you all about how the bio-nano age is starting in 2020. That guy, he told you the code word is sustainability. Let me repeat that. The code word is sustainability. Why is NASA so involved in this climate thing? Huh? And by the way, isn't it kind of weird? I think about it now. But what would be looking at him? Those are 2 eyeballs right there. What would be looking at him from that tree? Well, obviously an owl. Oh, little Bohemian Grove on top of it. So yeah, here's the Al Gore card. No man, bear, pig card in here as I at least that I know of. Okay. So let's keep going. Let's have some fun with this one tonight, huh? Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share, guys. Let's get to 50 thumbs, can we? Let's keep pulling these Illuminati New World Order cards. One with everything. Huh. I don't know about this one either. But it says something about Roger Bacon. This is the Bronze Head. I know about Sir Francis Bacon. I don't know much about this, though. Its first recorded owner was Roger Bacon. He said it foretold the future. It does that and much more. So it's a future-telling artifact. Unique magic. Okay, let's get to the next card. Jolly old England, huh? There it is. We got the Illuminati all-seeing eye pattern of 3 in the coffee there. Cheerio. Let's see. Through England's power is reduced today, it says today, her influence is still felt everywhere. England gets an action token every turn. See, I don't think it's that reduced. I think that the Anglo-American establishment, Anglo-American, Israeli, kind of Saudi, are the big players, right? In my opinion, other than, Russia that has its own conglomerate, there are a lot of players out there, right? You got the China sect. You got your alliances here, but, man, again, I don't see Prince Andrew going to jail. I don't see royalty going anywhere. It's 2021 and we still have royalty. Oh, the tobacco companies. And it's the, death's head smoking on the top of the pyramid as the all-seeing eye. The tobacco companies. So evil. Now it's 21 to smoke most places. They're taking away a lot of the flavored vapes. The tobacco companies are kind of getting in the harness a little bit, aren't they? The owl is not Moloch, in my opinion. I'm looking over at the comments section. I've talked about that. I've talked about it being their deity specifically because it's a predator. It sees in the night. It accompanies their weaving spiders. Come not here. Their death and sacrifice plays and rituals. The wisdom of the owl is one of the other things they like about it. The ritual itself, you got to understand, they had that druidic ritual pre-owl statue when it was a Buddha statue as well. So that's just my point on that. The sacrifice does, resemble whether it's like Baal or Moloch or that type of sacrifice, sure, that effigy. But the cremation of care is really one of collectively cremating their worries, their conscience, the evil shit they've done so that they can all work for the next goal together. So there you go. Tobacco companies. Oh, here we go. I love this one. Why? Science fiction fans. And what do you got? You got a spaceman supposedly out in space reading books in front of the Earth. Now, here's the thing, guys. Most of what we see regarding our space program or the idea that we're going to the moon or Mars with rocket ships and Elon Musk, that's science fiction. We've been prepped for that. Like I said, the weaponization of space happened in the 80s. Okay? Propulsion systems have moved far past rockets. We have very little knowledge of what's actually going on. But we have this vision of, space because of the science fiction fans. This is a big card for me. I like that card. And it's a weird card, but it's more than weird. I mean, it's weird because, again, we've been brainwashed to think a certain way about space travel, and now we're deifying a guy that wants to put a brain chip in our head, okay, and can't answer any real questions at all, and wants to put Starlink up there with DARPA putting up the same exact thing in a military respect while we have a secret army running around this country. Bad idea. Let's keep going. Oh, this one's an old one. Boom. Rosicrucians. Boom. Let's see. The true Rosicrucians do not advertise, and their powers are recondite indeed. And, before this, kind of just going through the History Channel, you know, my favorites, right? The news channels, History Channel, and of course, Curse of Oak Island, Rosicrucians, Templars that we've talked about. You know, they've got those old school in there as well. And that's 5. Let's go with 6. Here we go. Boom, the Las Vegas card. Now, I've seen somebody say that this somehow predicted the Las Vegas shooting. I would just say this. Although the Las Vegas shooting is extremely murky, you know, in a movie like, I think it was War Dogs, they already, first of all, you know, a lot of shady shit is going on there. You have so many people running through there, money laundering, you know, organized crime, forget about it, tourism, big money, sports, you know, human trafficking is legal. It's legal in that state, you know, if you're an adult in Nevada. So there's so much there, okay? So, you know, this is one of those places, just like we put the France card in the front. But here you go. Well, the Las Vegas card. All right, let's get to this one. This is number 7. The Religious Reich. Interesting. The Religious Reich. Let's see what it has to say. The group can interfere in any physical attack made by or with the help of any straight or conservative group. If it does so, the attack is no longer privileged. Okay? And apparently, you know, this game has a crazy rating as an actual game. Like, people love this game. That's why we're keeping the gloves on. Let's keep going. Oh! This one's a favorite. This one's a favorite with people like the Rogan and so many others. And hey, even that Ancient Aliens crowd, they did an Ancient Aliens in what episode? Bigfoot. Yes, Bigfoot, folks. It's the Bigfoot card. Now, again, I'm not saying that they're, you know, we've mapped the entire world and we've seen every species. In fact, there's a story that I'm going to be doing. Let's see if we can bring that up, because we do it live on this. And I think it's extremely important because it just shows you, just like there isn't a settled science. I'm not trying to mock the Bigfoot heads out there. But check this out. Extinct fossil fish dating back 420 million years found alive in Madagascar. And there it is right there. Badass. Badass. And the other thing with that is, you know, I only know barely what's happened the last 40 plus years I've been on the planet, right? I'm 41, I'm going to be 42 this summer. Forget about 100 years, 400 years, 4,000, 40,000, 400,000, 4 million, 4 billion. I don't like to play pretend and act like I do, because I don't. And neither do you. But the Bigfoot card. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see who we got next. Ooh. The recording industry. That's right, folks, the recording industry card. Now, I know there's a lot of Illuminati recording industry conspiracies out there, but I'll say this. The symbolism of occultism and Satanism, especially at these Super Bowl performances, we've covered them year after the Beyonce performance, the J-Lo performance, and then we did a breakdown with Jay Dyer, which you can find here on YouTube and over at the Rockfin. In fact, the Rockfin might have it exclusively. So go over to the Rockfin, and I know that I have it on my channel, and search Jay Dyer and Jason Burmis, and we deconstructed the Super Bowl again. But I mean, you know, when you talk about the recording industry and the Illuminati, say no more. All right, what do we got? I got 103 people there. We got 56 likes. I could do another 9 cards, guys. To do another 9 cards, let's get to 75 thumbs. That's only 9, what's that? 19 more thumbs in the next 60 seconds. So 60 seconds starting, let's see. As soon as it hits 150, I'll give everybody a heads up. We got to get those thumbs up. Otherwise, we're not pulling the next 9. Still not at 150. Not at 150. That's why I've got to look. So you're getting some extra time. Still need 15 more, guys. 15 more thumbs. Bum, bum, bum. And by the way, again, Rockfin. Odyssey has backed me up. Check out all the documentary films, by the way, for free. Okay, so now we got less than a minute. Less than a minute for 8 more. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order, Define, and Shade the Motion Picture. Especially Invisible Empire, if you want to learn about that Bohemian Grove section. We've done a lot of Bohemian Grove videos. And, you know, I like to be historical. In fact, right here, oh, we did it. We're going to pull the other 9. You guys pulled it through. Check this out. So there's the owl right there. The Long Ago and the Later On by George Bromley. And it's dedicated. This is like over 100 years old. Pretty awesome. We've actually got that. And it's, look, the Bohemian's Honor, Best Loved Man. And Bromley's in the druidic outfits. Look how old that is. I've got to keep reading this. It's pretty interesting. Bromley's the guy that brought the occult into the club. He's the dude. You know, again, check out Bromley. George T. Bromley. Tisdale. What is this on the back? I hadn't even seen that. Is it coming off? Oh, doesn't matter. This is like the coolest book ever. Cool. It's not like I'm getting rid of it. Like I have so many of those books I collect. All right. So let's go. Let's do another 9. Thumbs the video up, subscribe, and share, everybody. Here we go. The Hammer of Thor. I think with everybody now, even outside of the comic books, being a big fan of the movies, everybody knows who Thor is. The thunder god, you know, the Odin himself, the Mizan, if you will. So, you know, this has got to be one of the magic cards, right? Unique magic artifact and an action. So Thor Lair has made it into the Illuminati cards. Okay. Ooh, Japan. You know, you don't hear as much in Japan about Japan as you do China now, but especially in the late 80s and early 90s, Japan was the people that were producing the cars and taking over, and they were the big scare in America. And I think that's also important because, you know, it was in such pop culture that, what was it? Man, Gung Ho? It was the dude who played Michael Keaton. He was a American factory car, and basically said Americans just can't work like Asians, but it was Japanese people. And, you know, obviously that goes on to, you know, we can't manufacture things for as cheap as China does. I mean, they are using slave labor. But don't worry. They'll bring in an automation nation here. You'll suck on your UBI and feel like you have even less worth. I'm not my audience, but you know exactly what I mean. Punk rockers. Where have all the punk rockers gone? We need more punk rockers. Punk rockers, where are you? If this group uses its power in an attack on either side, no weird or liberal groups may aid in the target in any way. So the punk rockers. 6 more to go. Many people forget Dan Quayle or why he would be holding a potato, but it was a big thing where, you know, he spelled potato wrong, but there's really 2 spellings of potato. And it was gung-ho, right? Yes. Awesome. Dan Quayle and a potato. And, you know, he's looking rather Trump-esque, but he fell by the wayside. That's when scandals were ridiculous. Oh, wait. They've gotten even more cartoon level. That's how tame a scandal used to be. If the vice president misspelled potato, we got a president in the office that can't speak. That literally can't talk. And we were worried about a potato. George W. Bush's VP. All right, let's keep going. Post office, and you see the dude shooting. Again, big in the 90s, where it wasn't school shootings, is that people went postal. That postal workers were just too overworked, and that's it. They're going nuts, and that's where you get the term "going postal." Of course, they read the mail. During your turn, you may have to draw any two group cards randomly from the hand of a rival and look at them. This is a free move. 4 more cards. Phone Freaks. This is a liberal and criminal group. And this, again, shows the time period for it, because that ain't no cell phone. Those things don't really exist anymore, right? Phone booths. And he's got the shaved head with the Illuminati tattoo and the facial tattoos as well. So, there you go. Go 7, 8, and 9. 3 more. Ah, yes. The fabled moon base. Do we have a base on the moon? Is it even possible? Have we been to the moon? Bum, bum, bum. It's a great question. We keep talking about the fact that we're going to have these bases, or that there's going to be space travel for people. And, the moon acts in a way where, we can only see a certain side of the moon here from the planet Earth via technology we have, aka telescopes, for the average person. So you do have to wonder what that dark side looks like. You do have to wonder what's going on there. And there's just a ton of those different conspiracies. After all, if there's a secret space program and there are different propulsion systems, would we already have people on the moon? I don't know. Have we never been to the moon? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's 7. 2 more. 2 more. And we're going to call it an evening. Thumbs it up. Let's get to 100 thumbs, guys. The paranoid people. The super paranoids. Let's see what it has to say about them. The paranoids give your whole power structure a +2 to defend against any attack or assassination. Let's see, but not against disasters. They're the only ones, except for the secret masters themselves, who really understand what's going on. So the paranoid people actually get it. I hear you there. All right, and our last card, and then we'll do a preview for the next one. Our last card of the evening. Oh, the good people at OPEC, the Saudis. Now remember, this is also pre-9/11, pre-war on terror. I haven't ever seen the OPEC card. I'm glad I did. This is a good card to end on. I mean, we'll preview, but this is great. As oil prices vary, OPEC's power also varies. We get into the petrodollar. Very relevant card. When the card is first controlled, and again, each time your turn begins. So there you go. Multinational oil companies. Mentions Texas in there. There it is, OPEC. That's going to do it, but we'll show you one more. Oh, it's the Mercs card. Man, we're going to be starting with the Mercenaries card next time. That's a good card to start with. So thumbs it up, subscribe, share. Look, I have fun doing these. I hope you guys have fun with them. Remember, I'm a documentary filmmaker. They're all free. You want to support me, the links are down below. Financially, at Jason Burmis is the Venmo. Jason is Void at yahoo.com is the PayPal. I'm going to be hopefully doing this locals thing. I've set it up, but I haven't gone full board with it. And that's going to be another way for you to have like a Facebook type experience with just you guys. And that's where you could throw me tips, not only of the financial variety, but also of the news variety, and interact with me more. So that, I think, is going to be another financial avenue. But for now, if you want to do so, you can do so with Rockfin. Make that premium account. Endorse Jason Burmis. You get everybody else's stuff. I think it's a great thing. I think you guys are great. I love you. It's not about left or right. It's about right and wrong. And can we get 100 thumbs up before I bounce out of here? Love you.